Grim's Reapers underground. We hope you survive.
What is up, my demons, on a Saturday night? That's right. It is time yet again for another edition of Reapers Underground. And tonight is a special one. The last time that I've done a movie review, it was for legendary actor Robert Lasardo. Which I know you guys have been seeing a lot of the promos lately for our new show coming up at the end of the month. But tonight, one of my biggest supporters from day one, I have the utmost pleasure of doing a movie review for the great Phil Herman. That's right. He is definitely a legend in indie film and definitely some indie film horror classics, such as the one that we're going to be talking about tonight, which is Phil Herman's Unearthed, an anthology that everyone is going to love. It's got so much, literally for everyone. Going to love it. And we're going to talk about that here in a few moments. But first, we have a quick commercial break to something that I alluded to a few moments ago. And that's right. Check it out. That's right. Coming at the end of the month, me and legendary actor Robert Lasardo is going to be doing a expose on Hollywood's true crime. And we're going to be talking about the late, great Uncle Charlie. Charlie Manson, that is. All right. So we're here to discuss this wonderful, wonderful film that has just come to me. As a matter of fact, I watched it a few nights ago. And as I've said before, I am a huge fan of anthologies. And if you are a Phil Herman fan or a fan of anthologies of indie horror, indie film, share this out anywhere and everywhere that there's a horror lover. All right, Phil Herman's Unearthed. What can I say about this? It has aliens. It has a very, very twisted serial killer. You'll also find a whodunit kind of a crime, almost like a true crime story, where you don't quite know who's pulling the strings and who the real killer is. And then to top it all off, oh, yes, you did, you naughty, naughty Phil Herman, you put in there an exorcist or should I say exorcism style story in there, which are always my favorites. And we're kind of going to discuss each one of these in great length because I want you guys to go check this film out. If you haven't not gotten a copy of it from the Indiegogo campaign that Phil has had for this film, you're missing out. We got to get you one. And I'm going to actually put up here real quick so you guys know where to go. Let's see. Phil. There we go. We're going to go ahead and get that going here right at the bottom. That's right. So that's where you can find, well, one of the places that you can find Phil Herman. In order to get yourself a copy, you can also go to the Facebook group, facebook.com/Phil Herman's Unearthed. So the film kind of kicks off right away. And if I remember correctly, it's The Ties That Bind is the first one. And with this first story, there's obviously a missing persons case going on. And how many times do we love that? And how many times do we not see that really in indie film, especially like this? And don't be afraid to comment in the comment section, y'all. I know it's been kind of a wacky evening. We were originally supposed to go at 7 p.m. CST, but I had to push it back. So here we are. So The Ties That Bind. So we have a story of a missing person. And, and there are just excellent actors and actresses in this. Paul Nader is in there. And this is let's see here. It's Joseph Martin Josh, Lillian Lamore, Heather Harlow, and Dave J. Cook are the stars of this particular story. So, I mean, there's even the great Paul Nader showing up in this film as one of the fellow cops. And so, it begins with them doing a search, and they're trying to find this young lady that's gone missing. And, they end up finding the clues, whatever. And it looks like someone who they thought they already caught is already, or let me backtrack a little bit. Somebody that they thought they had already caught, but yet the killings are still happening. So it leads the lead detective on this case. How many times do we see this in some great horror films past? And that's what I love about where this film or this particular short within this anthology takes us. And we love those stories because we're always like, ain't got the right person. We're able to form our own opinions. All y'all out there in the Black Flame universe, whenever you're watching true crime stories like this, it's like you can tell that there's more to the story. Especially, with Joe DiBartolo as their, person that they're pinning this thing on. But it takes us on a lot of twists and turns. It's this wonderful family, and you think there's nothing going on there. I don't want to give too much away because obviously I want you to go watch Phil Herman's Unearthed. But, it's one of those things where, he's thinking maybe I got the wrong person. And I'm sure there's police officers that feel that way throughout time. So this is no, exception. And it's like sometimes the killer, and especially in this case, is somebody you would never suspect. You never know when somebody reaches their breaking point. And then come to find out there's more than one crazy person that's involved and kind of pulling the strings, as it were. So I have to give my hats off to Derek Brosh and Nina Trader for The Ties That Bind. Very, very good story. Excellent cinematography. It has a bit of that graininess that I like. I talk about this a lot. It's when I'm talking about a film that looks grainy, it's not so, it's like you're in the same room with the person. It gives a little bit of grit, like you're peering into this world. Cinematography is great. The acting is second to none. Just an amazing fucking story and very well done, because we all like crime dramas, right? And this one is a crime drama thriller. So I think there's enough there that's going to suck you in, and you're definitely going to love this particular chapter. And then let's not forget our master of ceremonies, Christopher Kaler, who I had the pleasure of working with on Return of the Corn Zombies. You've seen him in so many different productions out of Acrostar Productions. Acrostar Films. And there's a reason for it. The man is a chameleon. He can literally play whoever the fuck you want him to. So I highly recommend checking this out, even just based on that. You definitely want to, as he is leading us through, how many times we talk about the Crypt Keeper, how many times, Creep Show, even all the great creepy people, actors, actresses that lead us through these anthologies. And he's no different. And I mean, you can tell just from the cover that he's the guy that you don't want to mess with. Very good makeup effects. Christopher, you did a fantastic fucking job on this thing. So yeah, let's move on to the next part of this anthology. So we've seen stuff like Fire in the Sky, what is it, The Fourth Kind, films like that. Shoot, if you want to take it all the way back, you can go to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And we're always captivated by these. And I love the segue from the first part of the anthology into the next. We are captivated by what is beyond the clouds, what is in the universe. Is there life, as it were? And in this tale, it takes us into a very uncomfortable situation. Again, I don't want to give too much away because I want you to dig it. The acting is definitely first rate. Will DeVokes did a very nice job on this. Anything from the special effects, just, I don't know, very well done. You could have very easily seen this on the big screen, in my opinion. And I'm not just trying to blow, some bone smoke his way, but definitely this is top-notch indie film type stuff, especially for this topic. It's a tough one to try to get this across because we've seen, like I had mentioned, so many different alien style films. But as a short, this thing blew me the fuck away. And oh man, the dichotomy between because Will is also in it, and his wife that's in it as they're, in one of the worst situations you could possibly imagine yourself to be, because we all know that when we're dealing with aliens, they either want to eat us for lunch or they just want to check out what's inside. And oh man, I loved the way it ended. Obviously there's an abduction in play here, so I can give you that. But I don't want to give too much more away. Just really, really well done. CG is not the easiest thing in the world to do. When you don't have a sound stage or a big stage, setup that you can do this stuff. I don't know. I'm curious. I would love to know how he did this, because I was like, at first I'm thinking, okay, so this is, and it's a Close Encounters kind of deal, but this is not super high budget, and what he was able to do with this, it really does make you feel like you're there, like you're outside of the earth. And you're going to love this one. I think you really will. Very, very nice job there. Now, before we get into the next two parts of this anthology, as the great Christopher Kaler takes us through some very ooey gooey spooky goodness with these next two stories, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brother over at Horror Struck. Hot sauce, hotter than hell. Check it out. All right. You know what to do. I tell you guys this all the time. If you've already tried his current flavors, the new flavors of his hot sauce line are going to absolutely take you into the abyss, along with the devil himself. It'll definitely make your chicken wings dance for you. All righty. So actually, Will DeVokies is out in the comment section at the moment. Thank you, my brother. He says, I had a great VFX guy, Vincent Macterian. Dude was top notch, and apparently so, because motherfucker, it brought it to life. This thing was fantastic. Had a great cast and crew, definitely. Like that's the one thing I've said about both of these first couple of stories in the anthology. Just great acting, great actors. Plus the support from Phil, Marcelo, Derek, James, very helpful. Awesome. And that's what really comes through. That's what's so amazing about the world of indie film. We are a family. We support each other. You're going to see that in the mainstream? No, the fuck you won't. That's right. So, absolutely. Honestly, I cannot wait to see what more Will DeVokies and what was the other one there? The Ties That Bind. Derek Brosh and Nina Trader moving forward. If there is more, I want to see more. That's for damn sure. So I'll be checking out y'all's IMDb's, and I hope you do the same for Big Bad Devil Daddy himself, Reaper. That's right. All righty. So moving on, the next installment of this, I don't know. I really, and this is a lot because I'm a huge Creepshow fan. I also feel like Creepshow has kind of dropped the ball, especially when myself and Mortimer Deadfellow were talking about sequels that suck. The third one was not very good. They really kind of dropped the ball on that one. So I kind of feel like Phil Herman's Unearthed is right in line with some of these other franchises. Tales from the Crypt. Shoot, even Glenn Danzig did one uh, not too long ago. His anthology was a bit different. I like the classic feel though, with Christopher Kaler, as our decrepit tour guide through all of the stories. So the next one, I believe this one was not shot in the U.S. If I remember correctly, I believe it's Uruguay. And let's see here. I believe this one is called Clean House. That's right. Done by Marcello Fabiani. I am a sucker for exorcisms of all kinds. I mean, look at me. I'm, Satan's, right-hand man. So I love a good exorcism story. And this one cuts right into the chase, man. It doesn't give you a moment to breathe. It starts slapping you right from the beginning. We find ourselves with the father, obviously, from the church. And I mean, he's right across the table from this young lady who is obviously possessed. And he's doing his thing. And obviously the demon that has possessed this young lady is giving it to him just as good. And he just keeps trying and keeps trying. But, we come to find out that, the good father is not exactly, not exactly a stand-up guy, because we all know this from past films that demons will always try to basically trick you and know your deepest, darkest secrets, right? The special effects in this, we're constantly seeing a change with her face. Now, there are subtitles, of course, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love subtitles. I love foreign film, especially foreign indie films. Thank you, Shudder, and some of our other favorite platforms. But they're speaking, I believe, Portuguese, maybe, or I just don't want to get it wrong. So it's definitely subtitled. So just letting you know that off rip, and there's nothing wrong with that, because when you're doing an exorcism, why does it sound so much fucking better in another language? So I was already in there, man. I had my popcorn and I was going to town, just loving this thing. And it's just back and forth. And there's moments where, she's not like, it's not like the Hollywood productions where, they're strapped down, can't move, this or that or the other thing. She's controlled, but he's literally controlling her with, the word. Anyway. And, there's a moment where her face just completely changes. And her delivery, the actress for this, her delivery is fantastic. I want to say it was because Claudio Martin is in this, Melissa Reyes, and Penelope Bogado. The young lady that plays the one that's possessed just does a great job of delivering. See, I look for the sinister, the facial expressions, the way you're saying things. Of course, there's going to be effects and stuff like that help deliver it. But on the indie level like this, they really knocked it out of the park. This was not cheese. This was not mac and cheese by any stretch of the imagination from the dollar store. She's definitely delivering and making you believe. I actually think, me as an actor as well, from an actor standpoint, I think it's hard to deliver and make believable that you are a possessed person. So, that was one of the things that I really dug about her performance. And also the actor that plays the priest. Very believable. His convictions were there, very strong. Like he's really trying to punch the word home and send my people home. Little devil humor there. But he does a great job. And I really think that script-wise, very well done as well. So if you are a fan of exorcisms, but with a twist, because I don't want to spoil it for you. I really don't. Because the way it ends, oh man, it's really going to throw your ass for a loop. And I think you're going to dig it a lot. Like really, really going to dig it. So if you're a fan of exorcism style films, this short is going to knock your fucking wig back. I think you're going to dig it. I really, really enjoyed it. So Marcello, I hope I say his name right, Fabiani, excellent job. My hat's off to you, sir. You had me gripped. Again, the way it was shot, just utterly awesome. Absolutely enjoyed it. Now we move on to another one of my favorite crime thriller style, very much on the horror tip, I would like to say, with a little story called Highway Rivalry. And at first, I thought I had this in the bag. I kind of thought at the beginning, as things were getting in there. First of all, it starts off with great newscasting. The actor for that did a really nice job of telling the story of the highwayman. How he's popping up and suddenly there's bodies and all of this stuff, making him out to be one of those extra special kind of serial killer style shit. You know what I mean? Trying to think anything from like the Night Stalker from back in the day. Silence of the Lambs. These are films that I feel like I can feel some elements. But there are elements that end up in this that is going to throw you for a loop. And I can't thank enough James Panetta for this particular story. I did not see this coming. I did not see this coming at all. Phil Herman, Mike Pringle, Debbie D is in this, and she does a knockout fucking job. Jim Awald, Ralph Ray, Tina Kraus, and Ali Batat. Great fucking cast right off the rip. I mean, all the names, my goodness. You know, when we think of axe murderers, and I love me a good axe. So this is an axe killer style short that it pays so much homage to, let's say, My Bloody Valentine. Valentine's Day was just the other day. And, you know, who would have thought? I never would have thought that I would see Phil Herman with an axe. I definitely know I don't want to make you angry, sir. Which is why I hope you love the review that I'm giving. After watching it, I just had to. So, But it starts off with a not so nice couple after, hearing about the highwayman and building that suspense. That is what a thriller really needs, is building that mystery, building that thriller feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they really punched this home before we got to this couple. And the gentleman that plays Debbie D's husband is just a classic tale of asshole. And so they have this little fight. She's got dinner ready for him, and she's expecting to have some quality time with her man. And the son of a bitch, now I'll give this away, ends up having a fucking heart attack, it appears to look like. And I don't know. It's like she freaks out. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away. I want you to see this. I want you to watch it. There's nothing like a physical copy of these classics. And this should definitely be in your library. But, she takes off after finding him dead, all that stuff. And, she don't go very far. And lo and behold, nice little truck comes up, and who should we see in there? Mr. Phil Herman himself. Oh, I got excited. I'm like, okay, maybe this is, just a kind of a cool cameo kind of deal, right? Oh my goodness. It's like every person, I always say every man has a devil. It's literally every person has a devil. And sometimes you're in a pissing contest with the devil. I was not expecting Leviathan to pop into this thing. Totally threw me for a loop. I almost felt like this was literally written for me. I got so excited. And you never would have guessed. Because again, we know the slasher genre, and this has a lot of the slasher genre built into it. But come to find out, when our beloved slashers are doing such a good job at doing the body count, sometimes the demons from below get jealous because, well, it's making them look bad. So he ends up having to deal with that in the end. It's kind of like the killer that gets his just desserts kind of thing, which is, like I said, a twist on that I left out a lot. So you're still going to have to get yourself a copy of this. Physical media. I cannot stress this enough. Physical copies. You can get one. All you have to do is reach out to Mr. Phil Herman, or I believe you could also probably find out through Will DeVokies and any of the other directors of the shorts. Anthologies are an art form. I don't know how you demons feel about it, but we love how sometimes 4 stories, way different characters, way different situations, somehow are intertwined. And in this case, they're not. They're very different. But a lot of the themes, a lot of the script writing, they all fit together so well. Nothing really just, sets it apart, if you will, in my opinion. And that's one of the things they accomplished with this. And I was just very, very impressed with it. I think it's Christopher Kaler himself that really pulls all 4 of these stories together, as he is our ferryman on this horrific journey from story to story. building that excitement, because you just don't know what's coming next. And that's what we really, really, well, at least I can say for myself, really enjoyed about this anthology. So definitely, I want you to get a copy of this. I want you to, like I said, go check out Phil Herman at facebook.com. I've been subliminally hitting you with it at the bottom. There's also a Facebook group called Phil Herman's Unearthed, and I urge you to join it, because if you don't have your hands on a copy yet, that's probably going to be one of the best ways to get it. So if you are a fan of this type of horror, Phil Herman has assembled 4 great stories that'll make you want to keep the light on at night. I want to thank you all for joining me this evening and always supporting indie horror, indie film. Doing this series of movie reviews live is my way of giving back to the horror community, because if the film touches me in such a way, let me tell you something. You need to know about it. I don't care if you're here in the States, Canada, all my European demons out there in the UK and Scotland and Germany. I want you guys to get your hands on this. It's so well done, so good, so much passion and love. This is why the finest in independent film is in the underground. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I totally appreciate you all. And if you take one thing away from tonight, that means you're going to go get yourself a copy of this film. And thank you for Will DeVokies, man. I'm glad that you had joined me this evening, and I was able to give you this review. And honestly, things are just getting started. There are so many great indie films coming out. I have so many indie films coming out this year that you just aren't going to be able to know what to do with yourself. So as you are preparing for the rest of your evening, maybe you're out with your significant other and you say, hey, sweetie, what do you think about staying in and checking out Phil Herman's Unearthed? Just remember, stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Reapers Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.